On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick return from hypersleep to start paying the darn bills around here again. How am I supposed to get paid this month when these guys take 2 weeks off? Anyway, in their triumphant return to the air, the dudes will kick the tires on Andor Season 2 to close it out once and for all. They'll revisit their preseason predictions and fan ones, while also discussing where this season ranks overall for live-action Star Wars. Of course, they'll end the show with the Question of the Week responses and the latest round of Star Wars fan artist features. See, you can hear the pipes breaking in here. They are so behind on bills. Punch it, Chewie.
You are.
Hey, now look who's back, everybody. It's the Star Wars Time Show, bros. Woo. Man, I don't even know how to run the show anymore, people. So that's why we're 7 minutes late. Thank God Nick was here because I forgot pretty much everything we need to do after spending 2 weeks off from the show, broadcasting from this far, far away galaxy that we all love to love. So welcome, everyone. It's good to see all of you. The live chat here is banging. If you ever want to get into this live chat or check out the live stream, if you've only been listening on the podcast version, don't forget it's Wednesdays, 5:30 p. East, or as close as we can get, as evident by tonight. And you can find us at youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. Yes, that's good to see you, Michael Kramer. A happy what up fucker to you as well. Bat, good to see you here. Glad I didn't scare you away over the weekend. I'll be addressing that here shortly. Be mad. We love you. Thank you for the cash. Yes. As always, you do pay our bills. You are the man. Divided's in here. Good to see you, lady. Nick Caminita's even participating. Look at this guy. He can multitask like a mofo. We got Be Mad, like I said. Who else is in here? Doty is up in this thing. Devin
here.
Mr. Gilroy himself. And then, like I said, Bat and the rest. So, welcome, League. It's good to be back. Akira, John Host, we are saying hi to you as well. Yeah, it was a super smooth transition, wasn't it? Utini to you, prosthetic head. We love you. Jawas are the best. Except when they mess with our boy Din Djarin and take away his weapons and break down his ship.
$2 telling us he's got a lady friend. Is your lady friend with you, Mike?
Look at that, Kramer. That a boy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's always nice to have a significant other in your life. So congratulations. All right, people. Well, hey, I mean, it's we've been gone. It feels like for months. I know Andor just ended like 3 weeks ago, something like that. 4 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it feels like it was last year, right, Nick? I mean, I don't, at least for me, because I completely disassociated with the internet, Star Wars, Discord for the past 15 days.
Hey,
and I'll talk about a story about my return. So it feels like I've been so far removed from Star Wars. I missed this whole Battlefront 3 movement that I've seen popping up over the past 2 weeks. No clue what that's about. Apparently, it's Andor based, Nick. Who knows? We're old.
I think it's literally, that one was literally just like Pedro or one of the, not Pedro, Diego was like, we need Battlefront 3 now. And then everybody was like, yeah, we need Battlefront 3. And the developers are like, you're not going to get Battlefront 3. Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, it was wild. I mean, I saw campaigns popping up across other creators' channels, and I know the younger generations, not us old farts, are really into it. Hey there, William Oakton. Good to see you. Hopefully you're old enough to be listening to this crappy show. I mean, listen, it's just weird. It's great for someone like me to kind of take away and get away from this stuff just because of how deep I get into my role here at Star Wars Time. I mean, it is a daily thing for me. Unlike Nick, I cannot kind of just let go after Wednesday. It's a constant thing. I've been taking notes and planning my next videos and what can we do next until basically a year from now, when we get to see the next live action or maybe the movie, right? It's probably going to be Mando Grogu movie is the next actual thing we get to cover.
I think, yeah, and then Visions, Visions comes out in September, I think, right? Visions isn't season.
Yeah,
2.
but I mean that's a one show deal. We can't really squeeze a few weeks out of that. So don't worry. I mean, we are the Star Wars Time show. Our saying is there's always time for Star Wars Time. So we're gonna have content every week throughout this summer, outside the end of the summer when I leave again for the lovely coast. But it is a little intimidating to think we're back in the doldrums of the SWTS, as Nick and I call it, which means the faucet of new subscribers and interactions will be fully turned off here probably in another week or so. So we always appreciate those of you out there beating the drum for the SWTS, sharing the content, liking these stupid streams, leaving those comments, subbing to the channel, and you diehards, our lovers out there, you channel members, we speak all your names every single day. All right. No, be mad. We have not hit 3,000 subs because we suck and no one watches our content and the AI hates us as well. So I guess I'll just get into my rant from the weekend. I want to clear that up right now before we do a little Ask Us Anything. So for those of you that are in our Discord channel, you saw the return of Woe Is Me Matt this Saturday night. Just talked about how I spent 15 days away. Well, I really wasn't monitoring our Discord, was barely looking at socials, and it was fantastic. And then Saturday, got home after a long drive, had a drink, who knows what else, and started looking through Instagram again. And I'm like, oh, hey, there's this, and there's, oh, look at Beyond the Dune Sea or Mortis FM, and wow, look at the engagement they're getting. Holy shit, man, their content must be awesome. I'm like, man, I wonder, how about our stuff? Nothing. Literally nothing. 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 Not a single share. Comments. Zero. And I want to put this out there. This is nothing. And I was not raging against our fans. Okay, that Matt is fully dead. I'm not that guy anymore. I used an example of my man Bat. Not to yell at him, but to just show, like, look, this is why I have the low self-esteem in my Star Wars content. When one of our diehard fans will share other channel stuff, but not ours. So again, that's not a knock on our fans. I always perceive that as my content is not good enough. All right, you got to hear me out here because I don't want to get this bullshit of, well, Matt, if you love doing it, that's all that matters. We all know that is horse shit. Okay, every one of us that creates content. We might love creating it, but guess what? Deep down, you love even more when people appreciate it that aren't you. That's my point. So after all these years of making content, and it really goes nowhere, even with our most hardcore fans, how can you not blame me sometimes for going, why am I doing this? Why? I do love doing it, but I don't like putting in all that effort and love and AI, social media algos. It just doesn't go anywhere. So that's where that came from. And I haven't been that woe is me in a few years. And I think Bat was right. I had a few drinks. So I was feeling it. I was feeling myself, getting emotional. But luckily, I kind of stopped myself from flame-throwing the fans. And if you do read through the Discord, I didn't delete it. I'm not someone that's going to hide from what I put out there. The story will make sense if you follow it. I had a woe is me. Came around, was like, you know what, fuck it. It was good to see you guys. It's probably because I just haven't been here for the past 2 Wednesdays to have my Star Wars bucket filled, all right? So that's that. Hopefully you won't see that guy for a long, long time here. All right, we got some questions coming in from Mike. Let me make sure that, okay, I like this one. It's kind of stupid, but I'll read it. Why does Anakin Skywalker have a dabba-doo Flintstones? It's the Flintstones. Yes, a yabba dabba dabba that do. I don't know what that means, Mike, but I kind of like the way your brain works. You know what I mean? Level 99 Joker. He's a Joker. He likes Jar Jar Binks. You might as well buy the Hot Toys there, buddy. Mike, how about we answer questions and shut the fuck up? All right, Mike, I will take that tip. It sounds good. So there you go. Mike must be new here. He's one of these angry people that inhabit our world these days. But we love you too, Mike.
We answer more questions than everybody at any other show.
Yeah, we love you too, Mike. But if you want angrier people or robots that just do flips for their fans, you can find another channel. All right, buddy? Have a great day. All right, so there's that. Cleared that up. Have fun. Join the Discord. It's open. Go check it out. And let's go ahead and start... Ask us anything for our impatient friend here, Mike. All right. There. While I'm getting that up, your buddy Phil just dropped a question for Mike to hear answered, because this show is all going to be about Mike moving forward. Hopefully Mike's still on here, because I'm just going to keep saying Mike, impatient Mike. All right, go ahead, Nick. Vamp on that one.
All right. So best starship introduced since the OT. That's a really good question. I mean, I think that one of the most popular ones was probably a Jedi Starfighter from the prequel trilogy. Obviously, we saw that a ton in primarily episodes 2 and 3, Obi's ship, Anakin's ship. I think those became a fan favorite pretty quickly because of how they maneuver. And then obviously the opening scene in ROTS, where you got both Obi and Anakin on there maneuvering and then making their way into the hangar of Grievous's ship. And then I would say that the other coolest ship was probably the Razor Crest until it got blown to pieces and then no longer is available for Mando and Grogu to use anymore. So that would be my two. Do you have any ones that stand out to you, Matt?
What the hell is the question?
What the best starship introduced since the OT?
Yeah, I mean, I would put Ghost. I think that fits, because that's after the OT. But really, I mean, the Razor Crest is pretty something different. I know we saw the N1 Starfighters before, but I've also liked those, especially the full chrome pimped out hot rod version that Din had. All right, hey, we are getting some questions from the live stream, so we don't want to disappoint. Let me go ahead and no, Michael Kramer, I'm not talking about you. Bimby asked the question if you got one. All right, prosthetic head. What planet would you spend a week on, Nick?
I feel like now it would probably be what's that like spa planet from Skeleton Crew called?
Shit.
Dang.
Is it Lapuna? It's something like Lapuna or Lapuno or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I have to look it up.
That's a good call.
But yeah, I think like that. Yeah, Lanupa. That was it. Lanupa seems like a perfect weekend, like week-long getaway. You just get out there, you relax, chill out, easy.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, because I love chilling out and relaxing. That's what I just did for 2 weeks straight, and it's a good way to live, people. Let me tell you, the rich people, the 1%, they live the right way. We all got to get there someday, man. We all got to get there someday. But for you, prosthetic head, what planet would I want to live on or spend a week on? I'm going at Atten at the end of Skeleton Crew to see what happens. Does the New Republic move right in? I mean, what happens to that society that was cloistered off for hundreds of years? I just want to kind of be a fly on the wall and see what is happening on Atten now that it has been exposed to the galaxy at large. All right. Bimby Rimbombo. I like this. How many midichlorians would you have in the Star Wars universe, and would you be dark side or the light side, Nick?
Dude, how many midichlorians? It would be off the charts. It'd be Anakin Skywalker level. I don't know. They've never given us like a number, right? Like they've never quantified it and said like, hey, 50,000 midichlorians is way high and that's your scale. So we don't really know. I would say that I would be like mid-high level midichlorian. I feel like I'm in touch with the force around me. And then if I would be dark side or light side, I mean, honestly, the way that both of them have been presented to us in media all along, I would want to be dark side. Dark side's more fun. Let's just be real. Does light side win more of the times? Yeah, they win. But being dark side's more fun. You got less restrictions. You can play around with stuff. Do you have to be a bad guy and be considered dark side? I don't think you have to. I just think that means you function outside of what the Jedi would allow you to do. So that's how I would do it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's open ended, right? So I want the most honestly, I just want to be a midichlorian. Like I'll have so many midichlorians. I am just a moving
turned into
block of midichlorian. All right, I'm almost like a Mortis god level. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I
exactly.
would I will not call myself a Mortis god. I will pick a side for you there, Bimby. I would go dark. I mean, that's our dynamic here. In fact, I got a fun little thing from ChatGPT that I did this week that just perfectly encapsulates the dynamic between my friend here and myself. Kind of, if you look at our logo, I mean, it's always clear that I'm kind of the angrier one, the one with the chip on my shoulder, a little spicier than Nick. He's more of the light side Jedi, so I'm always going dark side. All right, thank you for that, Bimby. And now let's get to our question, or ask us anything, where people, you can do it here live. That was fantastic. But for those of you that are new, you can come on here and hit us up on our socials, where we post the Ask Us Anything prompt. That's on Instagram, Discord, YouTube, and Twitter. All right, let's clear that message from Bimby. Jeffrey, I'm not Darth Vader. I said I'm a walking cloud of midichlorians. That is more OP than Darth Vader.
That's right.
All right. Here we go. First, Ask Us Anything. Well, second, Ask Us Anything. Have you guys seen the most recent season of Black Mirror?
I have not. I haven't watched Black Mirror in years. So I have no clue what is going on.
I have, Spencer, and I think it's been one of the better. This is one where like every episode kind of was like very engaging. You even got one that piggybacked, was kind of a sequel to one of the first seasons of Black Mirror, where the lady is kind of put into a video game that's like Star Trek-y. So I like kind of getting follow up on that. And yeah, Black Mirror's pretty awesome. All right. Here's Bimby again. He's saying, and this is to everyone, so please follow along in the chat if you want to. But whenever you see Yoda, don't you want to just kick him? He's so tiny. I do, Bimby. I'm a little dark like you. I would definitely try to punt Yoda a few yards if I could.
I would like to see everyone try, because I feel like even if you like were trying to sneak up on him, he'd know you're coming, he'd flip right over your head. It like you would try to like do he would pull the Lucy as himself, like he'd pull himself away like Lucy did with the football to Charlie Brown every time, and then you just sit there and fall on your ass.
Well, hello there, Robin, and your cousin Nick Her. Good to see you all there. Hopefully all you new faces will stick around for a little bit. This is just kind of an opening of our show. We do a little Ask Us Anything. Then we'll get into the Star Wars stuff in here a little bit. We're going to kind of say goodbye to Andor and revisit our preseason predictions to see how good or how bad we were. All right, Nick, why pull up that other one? Why don't you go ahead and take Philip's next one? I like this. Just keep throwing us questions at us, people.
Yeah.
We're making Mike happy.
Favorite Star Wars robot chicken skit? Man, that's a good question, because there were so many of them that popped off back then, but I haven't watched them. I haven't watched any in such a long time. But there was what was it? It was like there was one of them where like Palpatine was just like ripping into Vader. That was just so hilarious. But I feel like there were multiple of those, so it's just hard for me to remember. But any one of them where Palpatine is like, oh, and there was that one Palpatine like dance skit too. That one was super funny. Yeah, I don't know if you remember any of the
I don't. Like I know they're funny as hell, but I don't remember specific ones. But yeah, anytime Palpatine, and it's very similar to the Lego Star Wars stuff where Palpatine is like overly mean to Darth Vader. Anytime I see that, I love it. So I'll just say what Nick said.
I have to go back and watch some of those again, Phil. Thanks for the reminder.
All right, we're going to go back to the submitted questions for a little bit. We do appreciate you, Bimby and Prosthetic out there, but we got to keep the show moving along. All right, our boy Mac dropping one. Since Andor's done, what are you guys currently watching? For Mike, he just restarted The Punisher. And are you guys going to watch Predator Killer of Killers this Friday? And then finally, how were the vacations? So it's a heavy one. If you can hit him quick, Nick, bing, bang, boom.
Well, there was no vacay for me, so just working the whole time through. So the only difference was no show at the end of the day on Wednesday. But what are we watching? Yeah, so We just started watching this new comedy show on Amazon Prime called Overcompensating, which is really funny. It's like a college comedy, super good. So I would recommend that to anybody who's a big fan of early adult comedy type of stuff. And then we have been watching a lot of random stuff. So we just so Matt reminded me to bring this up, but Taylor and I finally like semi set up our media room.
Oh.
And we watched
This guy's got a movie theater now.
Not quite. Captain America: Brave New World. We watched that in there. We did not watch it in theaters. We watched it in there. We have a 150-inch screen.
Oh yeah.
That just like goes across our wall, and we have a
4K projection.
Samsung Freestyle projector. We don't have any external audio yet because we're just getting it set up. So we're just using the projector audio, but it was really cool. I enjoyed the movie. I thought that they should have probably not immediately given away that
See, isn't it weird that they
was Red Hulk?
Yeah, I mean they promote it the whole time leading up to it, and then that's like the big mystery of the film, and we're all going, well,
yeah,
you already showed
it's like
us.
It's like no duh. It's been in the advertisements the whole time. I feel like the movie would have been better if they would have just like let that stew and then focused the marketing around Captain America and like the things that were happening in the film, like with Isaiah Bradley. I really enjoyed Isaiah Bradley's character, how that was developed and brought into the light more, because he was there a little bit in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So yeah. I mean, that's what we've been watching. Overcompensating TV show, just random rewatches. We started the Mortician docu-series on HBO Max as well, which is crazy interesting so far. So if you want to keep up with that as well.
All right.
That was fun.
Okay, so I finally got in the White Lotus. We're almost done with season 1. That show is fantastic. I love the music, even though Mike White and the composer have had a falling out after season 3. So we'll see what it sounds like in season 4. But that show, I just like that type of writing, and it's very good. So I'm kind of disappointed it took me this long. Also, the new season of The 100-Foot Wave is on HBO. I love that documentary.
Yeah, we finished
so I've been going through that. I'm going to talk about a show that I absolutely adored because it was my childhood, but the Pee-wee as himself is absolutely marvelous. And it's a shame Paul kind of pulled the plug on it before he died, and they weren't able to really kind of finish it, because I think you would have had a whole other third episode that was almost 2 hours long, just like the first two. But Paul was getting a little squirrely there at the end and not having control, and it was fascinating. I'll talk about that more here in a little bit, but it's I love Pee-wee, man. I love Pee-wee. All right, blah 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 blah. And Vacation was fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, Pee-wee was just absolutely insane. Doty wants Andor to get some good Emmy wins. I wish I could get Devin in here quick. I jacked that up because, like, I don't know if I could do it quickly without everyone seeing everything on screen. You know what I mean?
If they see it, they see it. But
right.
we do want to ask Devin about his time on stage with the crew. If those of you out there didn't see it, Devin made a little cameo on stage with the Andor crew recently.
Yeah,
so
this guy got up on stage. Ben Mendelsohn pulled him up, like out of the crowd, pulled him up because he had, I think, was it created by Tony Gilroy?
Written by Tony Gilroy.
And I commented like, dude, that was awesome, but you should have threw in the Lord in there. That might have been extra special here. That might have been extra special. I don't know how I could just like jam him in real quickly. Let me see. Talk about. I'll go to the next question. You start talking about that.
Go to the next question. I will answer that.
Let me see if I can pull this off.
Do some behind the scenes things. Yeah. All right. How was your break from YouTube, and how have you been dealing with your post Andor depression? I've rewatched all the films and have played Battlefront 2 almost every day. This is from BMAD. How is your break from YouTube? Like I said, I've been working, and these last couple of weeks of work have been work related, so not fun. But how have I dealt with my post Andor depression? I started reading the new Hunger Games book.
Sorry, hey Devin, if you're listening, go to your Instagram and try clicking on that link, a browser would probably be best, but your phone may work too.
Yeah, so check that out, Devin. But yeah, I started reading the new Hunger Games book, which I think is really good. I've been able to talk with Taylor about that because she's a big Hunger Games fan. I'm a big Hunger Games fan. That's been really good to like dive into, and it's a fast read too. Like I used to be much more of a reader when I was young, but recently I have fallen off the reading train. But this book reads pretty quickly. So if you're a fan of the Hunger Games, I would definitely recommend reading Sunrise of the Reaping. That is the book that is told from Haymitch's perspective when he was in the Hunger Games. So good stuff there. And then really just been I think I may have mentioned this before, but I have a new YouTube channel that I'm like big fan of. It is a girl named Lindsay Nicole. She is a zoologist or just graduated college with a zoology degree, and she has a series called The History of Life on Earth as We Know It, where she takes you through all of the periods, all of the eras in the world's development, talks about the organisms that were alive, the evolution of species, the evolution of plants, and takes you all the way up through the development of human life. So if you are somebody who enjoys science of the natural world or learning about the history of life, I would definitely recommend that. That's a good time filler for sure. Is he here? Do we have him in the building?
He has not called in yet. I've got all sorts of shit up on the screen. It's like, I don't know if everyone can see the red border on everything.
No, don't see the red border.
They'll see that. Like if I put that on, then they can't see any of us. So
yeah, I did see a flash for a second, but that's it. So that is it's asking for a password. So
of course it is.
If there's a password. But that is what I've been doing to battle my depression. I've also been playing, for some reason I got like, if you've ever played League of Legends and you know of the mini game inside of League of Legends called Team Fight Tactics, TFT, it's like a little auto chess game. I've been playing a lot of that just for fun. It is something that does not require constant attention and is very quick and easy to play. So if that was something that you did. Also, History of the World Part 1 is good for the human aspect. Yeah, History of the World Part 1, if you're a big fan of Mel Brooks, obviously watch that. And then History of the World Part 2, Bat, I don't know if you are aware, History of the World Part 2 is a TV series on Hulu that is now available for you to watch. Collaboration between a lot of comedic minds plus Mel Brooks in there as well. So that was a fun watch as well. So
sent that over, Devin, if you're still on your phone. Sorry, Nick.
There you go. Yeah, if you've not seen History of the World Part 2,
we're usually more professional in this, but we're kind of doing something on the fly here.
we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
If he makes it, he makes it. If not. Maybe we'll try for next week. But
yeah, we'll see. If Devin can make it in, we would like to hear his story. But if we may get him in next week to allow us a little bit of time.
Oh shit! A box just popped up.
There he is. Oh, we got the video. I see.
Devin, can you hear us?
There.
Oh fuck, we can't hear him though.
I can hear. We can hear you. Yes.
Let me see. Yeah, he's on his iPhone.
All right. Yeah. So we're trying to get Devin's video feed in here,
or we can see him.
We can hear him.
Can you hear us, Devin? Do like a yes or no. No, he can't hear us either. Fuck.
No, he can. He
We might have to punt on this one.
He can hear us.
I don't even think I can hear Nick anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, I definitely can't.
Okay, Matt lost all.
Oh shit! Now we just broke the damn stream.
I can hear Devin. I can hear.
All
Devin.
right.
I don't know.
Devin, Nick, you drop out, come back.
Okay.
I think that's the only way to fix this now.
All
right. I think we're back. That was horrific. Fuck technology. Fuck this show. Let's move on. We're skipping the rest of Ask Us Anything. That was just an absolute shit show. Wow.
All right. Well, I'm not recording anymore, so I have to restart my recording.
Yeah, it's like I mean I kind of want to delete this episode. It's so fucking embarrassing. I mean, it's like why even publish it? You know what I mean? Like this is just an absolute disaster.
If you're over it, that if you're over it, then just call it and come back next week, because all we're doing is bullshitting. Like,
What's that?
I said, if you're over it, then just call it and we'll come back next week, because we're just bullshitting. There's
Yeah,
nothing
no, it's
really to
fine.
talk
Like I said,
about.
we're going to go ahead and kill Ask Us Anything. We're going to move into the next part of the show here. I already briefly talked about the Pee-wee stuff. It's absolutely fantastic, especially if you're Gen X or maybe even late baby boomer, you would be into it. But it's just a marvelous show if you were a fan of Pee-wee, Paul, the real guy behind them, and the Playhouse and all that fun stuff. In terms of movies, just caught Friendship last night. I know I'm a little late here. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I've never watched anything that Tim Robinson's in, but I've heard he's pretty funny. Like, he's got a very specific type of humor, and that definitely shines in Friendship with Paul Rudd. So that was a fun little flick to check out. A little dark. I mean, it's an A24, so there's definitely some darkness to it. It's not just all happy-go-lucky, let's be friends type of movie. But in the end, it's well worth a watch. That's right. Who's commenting on Pee-wee here? Gas Station Global. Yeah, Pee-wee is legendary. And this is going to address one of the questions we had but didn't get to because we had that fun little tech issue. But I did check out my man Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and outside of it being almost damn near 3 hours long, it's pretty epic. I mean, it's Tom Cruise, it's Mission Impossible. It's much better than Dead Reckoning or whatever came before it when this was supposed to be part 1, part 2. This really gets right to it. There's kind of like endgame stuff here, apocalypse things going on in Mission Impossible. And Tom, I don't know what sort of baby brains or stem cells he's eating, but the guy does not look a day over 45. And he still does it all. The stunts are insane. It's a great summer action blockbuster. Go check it out. All right, now we got a fun one here for you in pop culture talk. We've got I'm in education, so artificial intelligence is always on my mind. I run a group down on my college's campus, and I read news about it daily. So yesterday, when I was reading my round of news, there was a fun little thread going on Reddit where someone created this prompt that was pretty cool, and it's very simple, but it's basically like, hey, create a 4-panel comic that you think I would like based on our history together. So essentially, if you used an LLM, whenever you chat with it, it can remember your conversations across your chats, or you can even store instructions in memory. So if you're on the live stream, my comic is up from that prompt, and it was absolutely perfect. I mean, you essentially have Nick in his full Obi-Wan Kenobi garb, even with glasses. I don't know if anyone noticed that. In the first panel, it's Obi, like this Jedi character holding a holocron. He's teaching in a classroom. On the blackboard, you have history of the Force, forbidden techniques. You got Yoda, balance. Then you got, it just says live in the next panel. And you have Darth Vader with sunglasses, it appears, in at least 2 of the panels. He's live, by the way, so live streaming. And he says, yeah, but where's the part where we single-handedly blow up a planet? The next panel is now Obi-Wan with glasses and Darth with sunglasses, pointing at each other on someone's phone. And the phone belongs to Nemec Stan 97, who is telling us that we're so wrong about Mon Mothma. And then the very last panel is Obi, Nick, and Vader Matt having coffee with a subscribe logo at top. So if you know anything about AI and how they work, I found that to be pretty freaking funny, that it was like, hey, yeah, based on how you've been using me, I can tell you're a Star Wars freak, and you talk to another Star Wars freak, and you seem to be the angry one. So I kind of like that. I kind of liked what it came up with. So that was pretty interesting there from our AI. So check it out. If you're in our Discord, I did post the prompt I used, and some of the fans have tried their own. So we'd love for you to give that a go and upload your own comic. All right, and then last but not least, before we get into our Andor kind of punch out, put to bed Andor Season 2, I was contacted by a YouTube channel that I've been a fan of and have covered for years, way back when I did entertainmentbuddha.com. You might have heard of them if you're into YouTube and content creators, people that like, make funny shorts, stuff like that. But Sneaky Zebra, contacted us right when I left to let us know that they just dropped their fan film, Echoes of Darkness. And they want us to check it out and talk about it on the show, and I did. As soon as I got back, I looked at it, read through the press material, watched a bit of the episode this morning, and I have to say it is definitely going to be well worth all of your time. We're looking at the poster right now on the live stream, but I'll go to the video real quick and just kind of scrub through it so you can kind of see the level of quality that you're getting in this fan film. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at that ship model. The VFX in this thing are just absolutely impressive. They shot this for $13,000, so 0.065% the budget of an episode of Mando. So basically, what they paid would get them 1.56 seconds in real Star Wars. But like I'm saying, if you're on the stream and you're just kind of watching some of this short right now, Echoes of Darkness from Sneaky Zebra, you can see, I mean, there is a ton of care, passion, and fan love that goes into this thing. And what's best of all is that it's set 30 years after ROTJ, Nick, and it tells the story of how Kylo Ren gets Darth Vader's melted helmet off of Endor.
Nice.
So yeah, it's from fans. It's well done, highly produced for a fan film. Yet it tells kind of a very interesting tale that I'm sure many, hardcore casual fans thought about when they went to go see TFA and saw that Kylo had his grandfather's melted helmet. How'd he get it? Why do you want it? So this short kind of fills that gap in. It's about 32 minutes long. And I can assure you, you've watched stuff on the internet that has wasted your time. This will not waste your time if you need a little Star Wars fan film action. There's Outpost Maydeen. How do you like that? A little callback to the General. So I told them I'd give that a quick little plug, and it is now done. So make sure to check that out. Echoes of Darkness. Nice. All right. So, Nick, we've made it. It was interesting there. Got a little squirrely with the with the tech. I really would love to know what that does, like how I lose all audio when we try to bring people in. It was embarrassing, but we made it. Sorry, Devin. You were looking slick, ready to go. So I apologize for that fail. But anyways, before we get into just kind of looking back and doing a retrospective on Nick and I, if you're new here, every time a new Star Wars show kicks off, typically the week before the first episode airs, we dedicate an episode to laying out what fans, as in us, would like to see in the series or movie, and then we predict what we think is actually going to happen in the series or movie. And then once that show or movie is over, we always come back and revisit and kind of have like a just like we call it the punch out, essentially. This is it. This is our last deep dive into Andor season 2. But before we get into that kind of retrospective, Nick, on what we wanted to see and we're hoping to see and predicting to see, I do have two little prompts I want to talk about real quick with you, and then we'll kind of revisit our greatness or maybe our most epic of failures when it comes to predictions. All right. So now that we've had time to kind of process it, hey there, KG, what's going on? And, some weeks have passed. We're kind of out of the hype machine of Andor, so maybe we can look at it more clearly now and evaluate it without just all those rush of emotions. But like I said, now that you had time to stew on it, how does Andor Season 2 rank against other live-action Star Wars TV shows? So that would be like Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Kenobi, and then Skeleton Crew, right? So, and then Andor Season 1. I mean, because I think some of you might literally look at them as two different entities, because Season 2 was, I don't want to say so much better, but it felt more lived in. It felt more directly connected to the original trilogy, if that makes sense. So what do you think, Nick?
Yeah.
Where are you going to put Andor Season 2 now that you had some time to stew on it? Is it the best live action Star Wars you've seen, or is there still one of the old ones that takes the top spot?
I mean, it's probably the best TV series for sure, or the best season of TV. Yeah, I would say that. I think that like I don't compare it to movies. Like I just don't compare TVs and movies. They're completely different mediums, especially now where you have a lot more time condensed in TV. In movies, you're typically seeing like a 2.5 hour runtime. So I just don't compare movies and TV. Um, and yeah, so like I think that season 2 is the best season of live action Star Wars that we've had thus far. Season 1, I'm going to be honest with you, like there's very little that I remember from that. Like I remember the Luthen speech, I remember the one way out thing because it's funny to me, and then there's not a whole lot else that I remember from it. Like the Aldani heist, I kind of remember. Um, but overall, I thought that that was like it was good. But also hearing like I saw the budget for that fucking show for season 2, or like for seasons 1 and 2, I think the budget was $650 million, which is absolutely disgusting. And that's why we're not getting live action TV shows anymore. Like that's why
Andor
they're
ate the whole
fucking cutting
budget.
it. Dude, $650 million for 14 episodes of TV is absolute, or like whatever it was, 18 episodes of
Season,
TV.
or you're saying season 1 and season 2 was 650?
Yeah.
So
Like
24 episodes.
Yeah, I mean that's unreasonable.
That's
Unreasonable.
That's pretty ridiculous. But hey, here we are. This is the world we live
Yeah.
in, and now we know
It's
why Tony was going around essentially singing Kathleen Kennedy's praises at the end of this. Pretty much going to all the angry fans like, listen, motherfuckers, without her, this doesn't happen because she's the one that was cutting those checks that I was asking for. So
yeah,
there you go.
$650 million is more money than I think the filming budget for all of this, like the sequel trilogy,
easy.
for all of the prequel
Easy,
trilogy,
dude.
for like it's insane that it costs that much money. Was it good? Yeah. But is it worth that much money? Not a shot in hell. Like Disney lost so much money on that show. It's actually funny. And also like but yeah, I think it was fantastic. I think that season 2 was great. I loved it. It's the best Star Wars live action TV.
All right. So Nick puts it up there. I mean, I'm always gonna.
The tax write-offs brought it down to 530 mil. Yeah, that makes it better.
It was deliciously expensive content, as Devin Doty is saying, and yeah, I mean, hey, who cares if Disney's losing money, right? It doesn't affect us. Like, let's go. We are the people. Fuck all these rich corporations and the 1% at this point in time. Like, everyone, wake up.
I mean,
lose your money. We don't need the content anymore. We're all gonna be going back to the caveman days, anyways.
I was gonna say it does affect us because it is not money very well spent. KG, I hate to tell you, but it's not. There's like even if you break it down to how much it costs per second, they recoup almost none of that, just because it's a subscription based show. They don't make any money off of ticket sales. They don't make any money off of ad marketing. They don't make any money off of anything except for subscriptions, and that's how they determine how much money they make.
There you go.
How much
Alexander Wilson's telling you that the rap said Andor S1 brought in 300 million.
Is that the case? Is that why they took it down from a 4-season show to a 2-season show, and they told them that you only have 9 episodes or 12 episodes to make it?
Yeah. Hey, listen, for all you new people here, I promise you, Nick does like Star Wars, but if we get into the business side of streaming, it's going to sound like he fucking hates life in general. So that's just a warning, okay? Like he is typically not the angry one or the negative one. That's me. But he is, like, when it gets into streaming, this guy is on point. He knows the numbers, and it upsets him. So let's just don't poke the bear, if you know what I'm saying.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I mean, favorite movie, I think, was the other question, or favorite live action movie. I don't know.
No, that wasn't that. I was just saying, where did you? We're not there yet. So you're saying Andor season 2 is your top, and I honestly, like I said, I always have a soft spot for Mando, but I think when you really break it all down and go and look at the overall quality of the production, I'm talking from everyone from the leads to the backgrounds to the sets to the VFX. Andor truly is in a class of its own. It really is. I mean, it's it is the best shot Star Wars, written Star Wars, sans the Force stuff, my friends, that I've ever witnessed. All right. Be mad, we love you, bro. Thanks for that cashola. He's saying, Nick, I like your standpoint, but they are supposed to drop the show in theaters. Do you think they would break even?
Are they going to drop the show in theaters? I haven't seen that if they are supposed to drop it in theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did in a few cities. They did the first 3 episodes, but I don't think it went much beyond that. So
yeah, anyway. I mean, I know they did that with like the Ahsoka mid season episode too, as well. But I doubt it. I doubt that it would.
The next prompt that I want to talk to you about Andor, and I guess now we could kind of look at it as all-encompassing Andor. So now that we've gone through the 2 seasons of 24 episodes that Nick says is way too expensive, but still great content, do you now believe Andor as a whole and where it kind of sits in the franchise is kind of the final bridge handoff into the full OT that us old people grew up with? Do you believe it is now one of the best stories told in all of Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's up there. There haven't been like, if you really like pull back and look at like official canon and especially like official like live action canon, yeah, I would say
here we go.
I think it's up there.
If Alexander Wilson is on top of things like it sounds like he is, and Devin just kind of put this out into the ether, so Devin, maybe this is going to be real, but Alexander's saying Gilroy said they mixed the last 3 episodes for theater and will release it in theaters next with Rogue One for the 10th anniversary. That would be excellent, because like we all talked at the end of the finale arc, and I know Bango, sadly he's not here, but as soon as he watched episode 12, he rolled right into Rogue One and said it was fantastic, and I can see how those dots just connect perfectly now. So if Alexander Wilson is speaking the truth, that is definitely a theater affair that I will sign up for. I mean, it's going to be, I don't know if they're going to do the whole slog like a marathon, because it would be it'd be about 5 hours or 4.5 hours of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's definitely close to that 5-hour mark. He says that they mixed the last 3, so I wonder if it's like a super cut that they put together.
Yeah, that's probably what, like, there's obviously the previously on, it just continuously rolls. That would be awesome. So Alexander, hopefully you're not tickling our tits here or twisting our nipples, as we like to say, but that would be pretty excellent. League, I'll be there. This is the first week, by the way, since AMC stub list has gone to 4, that I'm going to see all 4 of my movies by Thursday. Monday was Mission Impossible. Yesterday was Friendship. Tonight after the show, because I'm a super dad, we're doing Lilo and Stitch. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go check out the John Wick girl thing. I wish
Ballerina.
I knew. Ballerina, yes. There we go.
With Ana de Armas.
She is very, very attractive.
The only thing that I'm likely going to go back to theaters to see is the new Jurassic World movie. Like, that's... Like, I may go... Like, I didn't even go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters again. Like, but...
didn't you
Jurassic
go?
World movie.
I thought we got you to go see something recently, though. Thunderbolts.
I thought I was gonna go see Thunderbolts, but we just never did it. So
you were in the movies, though, right? I mean, before COVID and everything, you used to be a guy. I mean, you're the one that I think you had like the first ever movie pass or something. Or am I?
I did. I had the first movie pass, like the movie pass, and then I still have the Regal Unlimited pass. Just don't go. That I just don't use.
It's one of those subs you just donate money to every month then?
Oh yeah. Like I literally tell myself, I'm like, I'm doing this because I just want theaters to stay open just in case I want to go at some point to see it.
Wilson, you are on my radar today. I like the way you think, Alexander. Yeah, Ryan Coogler's Sinners, that you should go see that before it leaves theaters. That is,
I'll watch that in my media room.
That's still the movie of my summer, or the movie of 25 for me. No joke. I know I'm a white man. I'm not virtue signaling or anything. I love that movie. I love the album. I listen to it all the time. It drives my kid nuts. She's like, why are we listening to this stuff? I said, because this is the music that spawned all the other music you hear in this country. Blues is everything. Blues started everything. All right. Okay, what the hell are we talking about? So yeah, I personally do think it's top tier. It's S tier. It is one of the best stories told in Star Wars. And listen, because it is long form, it is hard to compare it to the films. You know, I never want to shit on the films, but let's be real. When you have, you know, over 12 hours of time to tell a story about a character, it's going to be a lot better than only having, 6 hours of times as we had in the trilogy. So I do think Tony and his team had a lot more nuance to work with, could weave deeper world building and character building, lore, all that fun stuff. But it's hard for me to talk smack against the original trilogy. But really, if you want to get down to it, man, overall storytelling, everything that goes into a production like Andor or a Star Wars movie, it is hard to say that Andor is not the best story in the way it's told. I'm always going to love the story of Luke in the original trilogy and the shit with his dad, but come on, I mean, what we watched in Andor was about as highbrow as it gets for Star Wars, and I loved it. All right, so now it's time for those of you that are new and our existing fans here. All right, Noah, we like you. No opinion. That's a fantastic handle, by the way. I always love people that could come up with creative handles because I never could. It was funny, Nick. I was going through some old photos, and I saw apparently back in my young 20s, I used to take screenshots of my finishes in Unreal Tournament on Xbox 360 or the first Xbox. And I had one where I was #1 in the world there for a little bit. And that was when I was Jedi Baggins 1138. Jedi Baggins 1138, dude.
I mean, that holds true till this day.
It does, man. I love it all. I love it all still. It doesn't matter how old I am. I love it all. Oh, absolutely hilarious. Hold on. We had the one stream crash, so let's go ahead and get that back up and running here. Yay, Star Wars time. See, if you're new here, isn't this more fun than shows that are actually well produced and have their shit together and things are like planned out, you know? This is fun. This is fun. All right. Blah 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 blah. Alexander, I got to stay away from the chat, man. You've like I said, you've taken my fancy and you're pulling my focus away. So sorry, not ignoring you. I gotta keep the show moving here before Nick quits. All right, so there we go. There's just a little discussion on Andor season 2. Clearly, we both loved it, and it deserves all the praise it's gotten. I know someone was in there. Oh, did you see the new controversy with Star Wars Theory? Who cares? Like, I mean, that's his game now. Is to be like, wah, nah. I'm not covering Star Wars. Blah, who cares?
Yeah, I have never watched a single video by that dude.
Yeah,
and don't care to.
Yeah,
so I don't know anything about him, but if he doesn't want to cover Star Wars anymore, I don't care.
Cool. Yeah, it's like, cool. Like, listen, I mean, if you want to watch a show that actually has a following and an audience, I guess he's the guy to watch, but we are not that type of channel. We are a bunch of ding-dongs that don't know what they're doing, which is why we had like 10 minutes of craziness earlier, but hey, it was fun, as some of the diehards are saying. There you go. KG knows what's up. Wow theory. Thank you. I like this. Nick, we seem to be able to pull in the algo. While it may not love us, it does somehow know to reach out to people that aren't like full-on trolls and wackadoos, you know what I mean? I mean, they come in every once in a while, but I'm liking KG here. I think we got a good one there and a good one on Alexander, so thank you all for popping in today. I don't know how it happened, but we speak your name. All right, so now let's really get into punching out Andor Season 2. Like I said, before a new show starts or a movie, Nick and I will lay down what we want to see as fans, what we think fans would like to see, but then we lay down our predictions. And, you know, we've had a pretty good track record with predicting Star Wars content before it comes out. I don't like to toot my own horn here, right, longtime fan? But we did pretty damn well with Skeleton Crew. I mean, in terms of our predictions, we pretty much nailed that show. So yeah, we are awesome. Go ahead and throw those trophies in the chat if you don't mind. Was Andor Star Wars or Reskin Rebellion? I think, prosthetic. I think Andor was pretty much new. I don't think he or Gareth, who started it, ripped it from source material anywhere. All right. So, hey, all right, KG, I love it. If you become a channel member, you'll actually get the Darth Vader trophy. Not going to pressure you, because we love that you're just here. There you go, Divided. Thank you, my dear. That always makes me feel happy and will prevent me from getting in our Discord on a Saturday night after drinking and going, boo-hoo-hoo, no one likes me. So here we go, Nick. I don't remember what the hell we wanted or what we predicted, but I'm not expecting this to be as great for us in terms of successes and wins as Skeleton Crew was. So here we go. We're going to revisit our once first to see if we actually got them in the show. And the first one, you know what? Not only did we get a Bix and Cassian romance, but it went next level. You know what I mean? I mean, they ended up definitely being a couple. They lived together, and they even procreated in the end. So I think
Child Andor. We'll see if they bring him back for anything, or if they make a.
We nailed that one.
Yeah,
hey, thanks.
We got a new subscriber too, Alexander.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Elizabeth Dulau, or however you say her name, she is the shiz. And we all gotta honor her.
She's great.
Because that was her first ever acting gig. Ever.
Yeah.
And fantastic.
We will be watching her career with great interest. So
yes, it's not going to be Poe Jr. We covered that. Remember Poe Jr.? There actually is a Dameron family in the rebellion that have him, so that's okay. I think it's fine if Cassian's kid just chills out, because his dad did more or less sacrifice everything and set up the rebellion to win, so it's okay. It's okay. I don't think
honestly he should just hang out on Minarao, farm some wheat, just chill the fuck out.
No, the Organas or the Skywalkers, they should uplift him, right? Be like, your dad, if it weren't for your dad, guess what? I would have never got the plans, and my shithead farm boy dummy brother never would have blew up the Death Star. So you don't want that. You don't want that you don't want that pressure on you. You don't want that stuff. Just stay on Minarao, be a farm boy, a real farm boy, and just chill out. I'm with Devin, man. We can't leave Mini Andor farming and hanging out with B2 and his girlfriend and Mommy Bix. Use them like propaganda, New Republic. Wheel them out. Be like, hey, here's the son of the great Cassian Andor, the messenger, as told through the Force.
That's what every kid needs in their upbringing, to be wheeled about as a piece
he
of
can be like
propaganda.
He can be like Little X. How Little X has been used over the past few months. Look it up. Little X is Homeboy's kid. Phelan.
Elon Musk's kid?
Yeah, who apparently punched him in the eye this week.
Can't be good. Can't be good.
I don't know if unless I'm not gonna get political here, but there's clips of Elon like in the White House, and he's definitely having like a ketamine. He's in it like a K-hole or something. But he's got a black eye, and they asked him about it, and he's like, I told my kid Little X to punch me in the face, and it's like, okay. Yay!
Dude, don't do that to that kid. Leave kids out of politics.
Look it up though, Nick. Like
who you are.
Look up Little X at events, and it's exactly what I'm talking about with little Cassian. All right, so this one we got this in spades. Like I said, I mean, it was right from the get go. You could tell that these two were a couple. They didn't waste any time after season 1. They got right to it, sleeping in the same bed on Mina Rao, like Nick said, and then once they were in the safe house, they were together nonstop until she left his ass on Yavin to go poop out his baby. So this one hit. Way to go, Gilroy. That is +1 team
Nailed
Gilroy. It. All right, next. Palpy addresses the Senate live or via hologram. Bleh! Bleh! Nope. I mean, come on.
I mean, this one, even at the time we were saying this one, we were like, it's probably not going to happen because they're not going to. Well, one, it's like it's hard to get Ian. Ian's much older now, and then 2, Tony typically doesn't like to play with the bigger characters in this show.
Doesn't want to touch him.
Not super surprising.
Doesn't want to touch him.
Yeah.
So we didn't get this, and we knew this, but remember, these are fan wants. This is like we'd want to see. I think fans would have loved to have seen maybe when Mon Mothma was popping up, you get the hologram of the big hood going, something like that. But we didn't get it. We knew we weren't going to get it because of Lord Gilroy. We speak his name. We love him, though. No disrespect, Tony. All right, we're going to get our man Devin to print up some of those created by Lord Tony Gilroy shirts, because that is a true moniker in the Star Wars fanverse at this point in time. All right, so that was a bit of a fail, Tony and team. So you're back to a 0. You got 1 for the romance. Now you're back to a 0 because no Palpy addressing the Senate. Dedra or Cyril breaks good. Well, I know Nick
argue.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're gonna let me argue Cyril potentially thinking about.
I mean, yeah. At the very least, he realized that his girlfriend was a piece of shit.
Yeah, girlfriend empire
which
bad.
Everybody knew to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he realized that.
And
he ultimately just. I think he broke neutral.
I will accept that, young Nick. I will accept that. I will not push you on this because I know you and I didn't quite align on Cyril's fate and where we thought his state of mind was there on Gorman right before.
I mean, he deserved
homeboy
to
shot
get
him in the
popped
face.
In the head, though.
Yeah, but yeah, I think breaks neutral is perfect. So we'll give Tony and team a half point for this. So they're back up to a 0.5 in terms of giving fans what they wanted. Next up, Mon Mothma becomes the leader of the Rebel Alliance. Well, pretty much nailed that, right? Even though it felt like Bail was the leader. So can we argue this one a little bit? I mean, did it not feel in that finale arc that Bail was he was kind of pulling out the patriarchy, the cock of the walk stuff. He was dominating the table when this lady is our leader.
Yeah, I mean, Mothma's the leader. I don't even know who that guy was in that room at the end of the show. I'm not even going to say that's Bail Organa. That was Pale Organa or somebody else. Benjamin
What's
Organa.
The guy? Yeah, Benny Organa.
Yeah, Benjamin. I mean, look, Ben Bratt played it great, but I just think that
well, we talked about it. It felt very out of character, that whole moment where Bail was basically like, "Screw you guys, screw you guys."
It was just real. It was a weird interaction, but yeah, I think that Mon is now clearly the leader of the rebellion.
Yeah.
You know, like you got the other people over there too, and they're trying to vie for position, but I think it's unquestionable now that Mon at the end of the show was the rebellion leader for sure.
She had one of the best arcs in season 2. I mean, she and Cassian and Bix, they're like really the only, and Luthen and Clea, that was like the core where we kind of, and obviously the bad guys, and we followed them over those 4 years, and Mon went from selling her daughter away to keep funding the rebellion and having a little rave to the butchered short hair leader of the rebellion by the end. So love Mon, love Genevieve O'Reilly, and I'm jealous of Devin Doty for being able to stand next to her on a red carpet.
There you go.
Okay,
good
so I think we're now going to credit Tony and team a 1.5. They are up to
1.5 points, Tone.
1.5 points. Cassie and K2 meet up to feel earned and glorious. Well, I'll say it, because I did not expect it to go down the way it did. I love that we now have this canon of K2 being on Gorman and actually murdering a bunch of Gore and trying to murder Cassian. And we got to see how that all went down, how he was taken out, how he was resurrected, and then over the finale arc, obviously the relationship was established and bolstered through K2's rescue efforts. So yeah, I felt this was well done, and I can say it was earned and glorious. What about you? You
I would agree so.
I
would agree so. I think that like it was like we were sitting there like, how does it come together? How does it come together? And like we didn't nail it in terms of exactly how it happened, but we were essentially like, there's an op, he's working, like K2 is clearly like an Imperial droid that's on the op. Something happens that deactivates him, and then Andor's like, all right, well, we can do something with this droid. And that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah. And I think the way they took him out was ingenious. I never expected that. I also didn't know they were so OP because our first introduction to KXs was Rogue One, and it's a brilliant moment. We when we talked about the greatest droids and the saddest deaths of all time last year, he was mentioned in both of those, and his death is fantastic. Yeah. But it seems like whatever the Gore were using on Gorman to shoot at these KX droids were like pea shooters, because they did nothing. I mean, they're just bouncing off.
The Imperials. Like even the Imperial weapons, like towards the end, didn't do shit to him when he was walking through the safe house hallways and stuff. I mean, he had a human shield at one point, but before that, they were pinging off of him as well. So I think what happened was once the I wonder if K2 is aware of his own previous kills. That's a good question.
Remember, well, Nick,
That's
you were like, I can't, because I just watching one of our shorts you shared, and you're like, I can't believe they didn't wipe this droid's memory. And
yeah, they didn't wipe his memory. So he for sure remembers his kills, but he was probably like, remember when I killed that guy?
What I was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like, remember when I tossed that dude across the Gorman Plaza?
Pretty funny, huh?
Yeah, it's like,
I killed a bitch too by tossing her a few feet. It was like playing horseshoes with humans.
Yeah, he's like, he just doesn't care. Like, they didn't wipe his memory, which is wild. But I think what they did was, once the Empire realized that the rebellion now has its own KX droid, they were like, we got to tune the blasters up, bro. We got to be able to take these out.
Look at that. That's why Nick is a writer by trade. See, he figured out that plot hole for Rogue One, how it was easy for the stormtroopers to just blow right through them. But back to like the other short I was talking about, where someone was like, no, K2 was just using that guy as a meat bag just to intimidate and not block bullets. But some people are like, well, did you see those rifles those ISB soldiers had? I bet they could pierce his metal, and he knew that. That's why he was doing it. It's like, I don't know. All I know is on Gorman, he was invincible. He was basically Superman until a tank showed up and split him in half. So I like that stuff. Yeah, the meat shield is epic. I don't know if I told everyone yet. I probably didn't tell Nick, but because of the finale arc in Andor and seeing these two bros together, the meat shield in particular, and hey, I've cleared a path, I went ahead and finally did it. Dropped the pre-orders on the Cassian and K2 Hot Toys. It always makes me feel a little ill to discuss spending more money on Hot Toys, but I did it. I spent a ton of fucking money. Hey, I'm single-handedly trying to save the economy from recession after my vacation, because let's just say the Haywood family loaded up on all the clothes they need for fall and winter at some outlet malls, and I'm back to wearing gold, baby. I got my gold chain bag on finally. I wore a gold chain my entire life until I broke my leg, took it off for all the surgeries. Never felt like putting it back on because it had a cross on it, and I don't necessarily feel I should wear the cross anymore. Yeah. So I finally picked up a new Figaro chain, and I love it, but it was expensive. Gold ain't cheap right now. All right, moving right along. So we are up now to 2.5 points for Tony and team in terms of giving the fans what they want. The score, I believe, is out of, I don't know, maybe 10 or something. Who knows? B2. Okay, here we go. This one is going to be an epic fail on both sides. But
Big L.
Ourselves, I mean, us, Nick and I, since Andor Season 1, have been trying to speak this into existence. I just noticed that Prosthetic Head has the prosthetic head from Total Recall, where Arnold goes to Mars and he's that big fat lady. Love it. But anyways, we are always, it was just like, they're going to use B2 cores and K2s. That's why they have such a strong bond in Rogue One. And that's, he kind of almost, they sound like best friends or family members. And sure as shit, that was not even remotely the case. Like, it wasn't even remotely close to what happened. In fact, these two were separated for life. Cassian never saw B2 again after he left Minas Rao to go steal that tie, because I don't think he even got to see him when he came back to pick up Bix and Wilman. So that was a bummer. So we're going back to 1.5 points here, right, Nick? Do you have anything to say on this miss?
Yeah, I just think it was weird that like relationship was never readdressed before the show ended, because it was such a big part of Season 1, like how Cassian and B2 interacted and how B2 was always waiting for Cassian. And it feels like, this show didn't miss a ton, but I feel like this was a miss. Like it should have been, I don't care if, they didn't want to use K2 as B2, that's fine. But like, to not have any sort of adjustment between these two before the end.
Yeah. I mean, weird. B2, in my opinion, was a very unique droid. He wasn't really a service droid. He wasn't a protocol droid. He wasn't an assassin droid. He truly was like a child
He was like a companion.
Yeah, I don't want to call him a pet because that's like degrading what B2 was. I mean, he's more than what a pet could bring to someone. I mean, he was a part of the family. He was Cassian's little brother, if you will. It just listen to the way he talked, like, oh, don't leave me, you know, like it's and that's it. Like he left him.
Yeah, and he was just like, see you, bro.
Yeah.
Brasso's
like, you'll be all right, pal. See you later. Go hang out with this farmer bitch you don't even know.
$27 million an episode. You can't give us one scene, Tony. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, hey, we're getting some insight here. I never knew this. Thank you, Double D. Well, he is named after Gilroy's dog, BMO. All right.
BMO.
Yeah, because he was B2 EMO, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he was.
I like it. So yeah, this one didn't hit. So like I said, we're back down to 1.5 for Tony and his team in terms of giving fans what they want. Okay, a space battle. What the fuck are we smoking, dude?
I mean, honestly, there could have been, and they chose not to do it because in the very first arc when he's taken the
stole the tie. Someone could have gave chase.
He stole the tie. Like nobody chases him. No, like this dude just blasted his way out of an Imperial facility that had other ships there.
Well, remember,
and they're just like, he got out the door.
Two started chasing him, but they blew up, and they're like, fuck it, he's gone, he's out.
Yeah, they're just like, this is only a prototype vessel that we for sure don't want to put in the hands of the rebellion. But they're like, he's out.
I think the only other times you could argue that a space battle would have made sense, or even a dogfight, would have been the one time he headed back to Coruscant to pick up Clea potentially, and how kind of squirrely that stuff got. But yeah, I mean, in the end,
that they stayed away from that.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need it, as we saw. You didn't need a space battle. I mean, we got the Gorman stuff. And really...
$27 million an episode, Matt. They should be giving me a reach around. All everyone.
Right. You're
$27 million an episode.
God damn it, where's that space battle? I hate you, Tony.
Give me it.
There you go.
The craft services on that show must have been incredible.
There, Alexander, for your information, Acolyte actually costs more per episode than Andor, which is baffling. Because I think Acolyte
we did the math on that, and it was not $27 million an episode. So I would like to see your numbers on that, but I pulled it up, and I don't think it was more. I don't think it was $30 million.
Acolyte was like 250 or 300 million, but it was only 8 episodes, 6, 7, I forget. Who cares? I'm off the number stuff. I really don't give a shit. All right, so no space battle. So now we are back down to 0.5. Things are not looking good for Tony and team when it comes to giving fans what they want. Hey, here's one, except we got the imposter version. So we did loop in the rebel senators. I mean, literally all of them were there. So I forget their names. I usually remember them, but you had that bearded white asshole. You had the black lady in the white hood. Then you had Bail and Mon. So they did loop in the rebel senators. We did get Bail. It just happens to be the imposter. You know what I mean? So as Nick said, he doesn't even consider Bail Organa was in the show. It was Benny O, not Bail Organa. But we did get this, so we can say with confidence that Tony and team are now up to a 1.5 again.
1.5 points.
Okay. Look at that. I mean, they really don't even look remotely close, do they? Bail and Bail 2.
I mean, Bail and Bail's, like Bail's evil twin Bail. Fail Organa, that's a good one from Prosthetic Head.
Fail Organa. Oh man, hey Ben, we love you, bro. Ben Bratt, no problems. Like nothing against you.
No, it's not just, Ben's fault. It's not.
It was. I mean, in the end, it was fine. I do think. I don't know if Tony directed in that way, or I forget who directed the last 3 episodes. But I do feel like when he was dressing down Cassian and acting like a complete asshole, that was just completely out of character for Bail Organa. But what do we know? He could be having a bad day. I mean, he probably did just leave the Senate and all that type of stuff. And he's only a day or 2 away from having his entire planet nuked. So I guess we can't be that hard on the guy for getting a little rough with Cassian and Luthen. Okay, Phoenix Squadron cameo for the Mothma mission. Well, we can thread the needle on this one because there is a mention of like the Y-Wings or Gold Squadron going to get her, and you know, another ship was going to take her, and us in the know what that other ship was in the Gold Squadron. So We've got a verbal cameo, just not a cameo, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No faces, but we know that they did what they did.
They did address it. They
So,
didn't. I mean, Tony didn't just
yeah.
completely abort what happened in Rebels, and luckily Draven makes those statements to Cassian like, "Hey, you want to tune in? We got Gold Squadron," and so this does line up a little bit. So I'm going to give it another half point, take them back up to 2 total. And I think we might be coming to the end of the fan once. Oh, here we go. We got another one. Luthen Rail to die. This came from Nick. And Nick, you got your one. And I think it was probably the best death he could have gotten. You know what I mean? It's like, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how people envision Luthen to die. I never saw him, like, going out and you know, guns a-blazing. I think the seppuku route and then the assisted suicide from his daughter or adopted daughter cohort in the creating the rebellion was about as great of a death as you could have given to the grandfather of the Rebel Alliance, right? I mean, would you have liked it to go another way, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard. Like, he was mentally degrading at that point. He clearly wasn't prepared enough to have like contingencies in place for something like this when it happened. And like, I thought that he would be a little bit more prepared, but he just he was just like,
just too late.
He was
Lonnie kind of fucked the timeline by breaking in and saying, "Hey, I just broke in. Watch out." So. But yeah, he had to improvise there with that Nautilin bleeder dagger or whatever the hell it was called, and tried to stab himself, but Clea got to give him the final kiss of death, which was pretty poetic and a bit sad. That was just a really good episode as I reflect on it.
Yeah.
That whole finale arc is just peak. Rest in power, Mr. What's his real name? Sergeant Lear, Sergeant Lear, something like that.
Oh yeah, Lear.
Yeah,
Lear
Sergeant
was his
Lear, I
real
think is
name.
what he was. But we got, even right there at the end in his shop, that dance he did with Dedra, we got another great bit of dialogue from this character. I don't think he topped his Sunless Mind from season 1, but he definitely had some great anecdotes in the speech he gave to Dedra about, how the rebellion has left this place. It's gone. You're too late. And basically you're going to be disappointed by everyone in the galaxy. It was a beautiful way to kind of give her the double bird without, headbutting her or trying to take her out. All right. So I believe that takes us up to 3 total, I believe, Nick. So 3 fan hits from Tony and his team out of 10. Not too bad. 30%. In baseball, they'd say you're cooking with gas, right? If you're hitting over 30%.
Yeah, that's a Hall of Fame of Fame baseball line right there.
Yeah. I see Nick is live in the chat. I love it, brother. I don't know what you're saying. Hopefully you're not doing what I do and yelling at the fans, but have at it.
No.
All right. Moving into the next part of our punch out of Andor Season 2. Okay, we just went through all the fan ones, and we identified that we only got about 3 of them in total, and some of those were half-pointers there. So now we have our predictions. This is what Nick and I were thinking that Tony would include into the narrative of Season 2. All right, so here we go.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a mess. I don't even remember where we went with some of these. Hey, we'll start with this one and get it out of the way real quick. B2 will be used to make K2. Clearly not the case. I think
Wrong.
All we heard, Nick, was, we swapped the cores, and you better stand back. And it's like, okay, there you go. So we failed on this one. So far, we are 0 All right, 0 on that
0.
one. Tarkin, Vader,
0.
Palpatine reference, but never featured on screen in the flesh. Nailed it.
So, yeah, got that.
The black guy wasn't mentioned, but Tarkin and Palpatine definitely will. And if they mention Palpatine, Vader is mentioned by default. So that definitely counts. And we actually got some bonus Tarkin mentions, right, Nick? In the fact that we learned that Tony kind of rebranded the original Gorman Massacre, the Tarkin Massacre, the one from Legends, where he lands his shuttle in the main quad of the town and squishes a few thousand people. So that was a pretty good one there. I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for that. All right, so that one hit. That's not what we want to see. Sorry, I'm just trying to get proper screens up on the feeds here. All right, here we go. So we are, we are 1 for 10 so far. All right. 1 for 10 so far. Up next, Cassian's Ferrex family all die. This is another huge surprise. I'm not sure why you and I are so into death and everyone needs to die. I think it's probably from the Clone Wars where you literally had characters on screen for 7 years that were important to the big characters and they just disappear. But we were all, I think most fans were like, oh yeah, the Ferrex 5, they're all dead. And in the end, it was only Brasso that died. In fact, they added to the Ferrex family by birthing Cassian Jr. So this is
That's true.
Actually,
so technically,
this is doubly wrong. Like it's extra wrong.
Yeah. They've maintained their numbers. They lost one and then they gained one.
They ended up net positive, right? Something like that.
The Willman thing, here's one thing. Now that we're talking about this, the Willman arc, that was a weird one, right? Because like we see him and he's huffing Rido with fucking what's his name, and then
Saul Guerrero, that guy.
And then the next episode, he's just on, like he's just on Yavin, chilling out, no big deal. Like I thought that he would have had more. Like I thought that was his moment where he dedicated himself.
I did too.
Saw and then like the next time you see him, he's like, yeah, I've been here for a while.
I mean, I'm right there with you, Nick, because that was literally the end of. Was that the middle arc that happened, or was that arc 1? I can't even remember at this point.
No, it was the middle arc.
Middle arc. It was 4, 5, 6, right? Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's like the whole time he wants to get away from Saul. He wants to go back to Luthen and keep working with Luthen, but then Saul kind of gives him that pitch on crack, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck, give me a hit of that shit." He starts huffing it, and we both thought, like, all right, well, he's literally drank the Kool-Aid. So he's team partisan, and that's how he's going to die. But clearly his love or appreciation of Luthen pulled him right back. Because listen, Willman defended Luthen even more than Cassian. Like Willman never fell out of favor or grace with Luthen, where Cassian left him like, fuck you, I'm done, and only came back when he really needed them for that last Gorman mission, and then obviously the pickup of Clea. So Willman, surprisingly, was not swayed by the gas, the partisans. He was a diehard Luthen fanboy. But it's fine. I kind of liked his arc. Got a little gimpy. He's on Yavin base, probably a mechanic doing that type of stuff, hanging out with his French girl from Gorman. So not a bad end. And then I also really loved Vix's ending. It was better than her dying. I think her taking herself off the map, letting Cassian do what he needs to do, and then kind of looking off into that horizon with the young buck was a beautiful ending for her. But yeah, R.I.P. Brasso, we love you, big dog. Okay, so we failed on this one, still batting a 1 out of 10 here in our predictions. Mothma's personal life will collapse, pushing her to open rebellion. Her save will be different than what was shown in Star Wars Rebels. I think we pretty much nailed that verbatim. I mean, that is, you really didn't see her with her family after the first arc. She was pretty much gone after that. And that definitely led her down the rebellion. And her save was not, I don't want to say different. We just got to see the first part of it, because Rebels did not showcase or explain how she actually got out of the Senate and off of Coruscant. So now Andor Season 2 gives us that part. So we can still say different, because it is.
Yeah,
but I think
it's different.
It actually added to it, Nick, and made it even more fleshed out and clear as to all the players that helped to get this lady out and why that was so important down the road for the Rebel Alliance. So,
yeah. I mean, I think that Mothma's story was one of the more interesting of the second season for sure. Like to see. I mean, you always talk about like, well, what did you give up? What did you sacrifice? And like, I think that for Mothma, it's very easy for people to be like, well, what did you do? You're just some rich senator. I mean, she lost her whole family. She lost everything that she had worked for, like her whole life that she had built. She lost it all for the rebellion and for the cause that she stood for. So I think it was really interesting when Cassian is in that room and has like a very visceral sense of loss from what he's gone through. But Mothma has her own like visceral loss. Like she'll never see her daughter again. She'll never see her family again. She'll never live the life that she built and everything like that. And while that's something that is big for her, I think that she is like always appreciative of what she gave up and what she was able to do for the galaxy as a whole. So
right.
yeah,
We got some good stuff coming from the Peanut Gallery. Let's go ahead and address this. KG first. Apparently there was a deleted scene where Perrin revealed he knew about Mon's rebel activity and basically supported her. She just never included him. I know there's definitely some smoke to this fire. I know there is, because I remember reading something like Tony's like, oh, you just wait, Perrin, you Perrin haters out there, he might surprise you this season. So that does kind of check out. I'm definitely... I've heard something similar, KG, and then League asking, what happens to Mothma after return? Yeah, she becomes the, I don't know if they call her the Chancellor, but she starts running the New Republic. You don't really see her again until until the Ahsoka series, right? Yeah, she's in the Ahsoka series running the trial of Hera, I believe, if my memory serves me well. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was going through some old clips where it was from our Hot Takes episode where I'm like, Leia is really the real reason the galaxy was saved, not Luke. And I also ran Mothma over with my bus a few times in that breakdown. Be like, hey, fuck that. Mothma is just a figurehead. Leia's the one that actually got all the shit done. And I do think Divided's right. I think Mon and the rest of the council is the reason why Leia essentially leaves her role as the Minister of Defense and starts the resistance, because they all want to scrap all their arms and play patty cake with people. Yeah, there you go. Devin's right. That's what he said. Perrin might surprise you this season, but then nothing happened. Prosthetic head. You got to remember the Bothans. That's Death Star 2. That's Death Star 2.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Episode 6.
Yeah. Manny Bothans was from Death Star 2. So if we can get Gilroy back in a few years to tell that heist story, I'm all for it. All right. Doty released the Perrin redemption cut. Love it. Love it. Bro, you're basically best friends with Ben Mendelsohn right now, and Tony knows your face, so snap it up. You've got their attention. You can do it.
You can make this happen.
Let's go. You and Props and all that access you guys have now, utilize that shit. All right, so we are now are we at 2 out of 10 with this one, Nick? I believe so.
I think we got 2. We're at 2
2 out of 10. Dig it. Ghost Crew cameo on Yavin. That's a big fail.
Nope.
I didn't look hard enough, but I don't think they were in there. I mean, we got some blue Squadron X-wings, right? And we got a Treadwell droid, but I did not see Chopper's Murderbot ass scurrying across the floor, and I did not see the Ghost in any of the parking lots. All right, so another fail. We're staying at 2 out of 10 on our predictions in terms of... See exactly why the Rebels left Dantooine. Well,
bro,
that's...
I'm going to give you a heads up. Dantooine doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, outside of whatever video game this is. This SWTOR or KOTOR?
SWTOR. Yeah, that's from Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Pretty much the only bit of quasi legend canon you're going to get any Dantooine in, because when we saw the trailers and we saw that base and a soldier laying down, it looked like a rebel. We're like, oh dude, look, the ships are taking off. This could be them leaving Dantooine, and sure enough, it wasn't even close. It started with a D. It was Dakar, and we got that nice connection to The Force Awakens and that becoming the Resistance base. But it was not Dantooine. We did not get to see Mon give her speech over Dantooine. So, yeah, another fail. We're staying at 2 out of 10. I knew this one was going to be ugly. All right. Well, hey, here we go. Learn why Saul was kicked out of the Alliance. We kind of had hints of this in Rebels. I mean, we already knew why he got kicked out. We were just hoping they would maybe we'd see the actual kicking out. We didn't, but we did learn why when they were talking to him on the holo, and he's completely batshit nuts. Where he's like, you guys don't know where I'm at. And we're like, yes, we do.
They're like, bro,
you're on Jeddah, man.
We know exactly where you are.
That's why we
Like,
keep
yeah,
sending all these people to come talk to you, and you fucking kill them, you dick. Like, stop
yeah,
it.
it's like the reason that he got kicked out is because he was high on his own supply and he was killing the people that the rebels were sending to help him. Like, pretty straightforward.
They're like, shit, he took another team out. Damn it. Saul.
It's like, dude, at a certain point, you just gotta be like, look, we just gotta stop sending people to this dude and just let him start killing his own guys.
Yeah, they should have rolled up at the home one and did a targeted orbital strike on his little castle there and just been done with it. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, listen, I think we did get more insights because now we learned why he was so nuts, and it's because he's been huffing paint since he was a kid. So
dude's been. If you grew up in a time where you only had gas lawnmowers and your dad kept one in a small shed, if you ever walked in there and just smelled a shitload of gasoline, that's where he lived. Saw Gerrera just lived in a small shed full of gasoline, just huffing those fumes in.
Yeah, he's the guy taking his gas can, pouring it on a rag, and then just going, I mean, listen, I kind of like smelling weird shit too, but not like this guy. I mean, I was always a kid, you open the permanent marker and you're like, yeah, let's fucking learn. So yeah, Saul, we learned a bit more about him. He's always been eccentric. He's always been over the top, always been a partisan. But now we know he truly was mad because he was a crack fiend. Like, literally loved it, gave it names, talked about it as if it was his wife. So yeah. He had more problems than just not listening, if that makes sense.
100%.
I like that prosthetic head. He appeared on Hollow without pants. Most definitely. He was not wearing his pants.
For sure.
I want to go rewatch that scene because it was fantastic. He's like, "You guys don't know where I'm at. Stop it." They're like, "Dude, we know you're on Jeddah. There's fucking Star Destroyers right on top of you now. You gotta quit popping off." He's like, "No, you don't know. I am Saul, the magician." It's like, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's huffing that Rido again." All right, next one here, Nick. So we're up to 3 out of 10 now. We're doing well. Luthen will sacrifice himself for Cassian and Rebellion. Boom! Take it to the bank. That's another win. He did exactly that. So
got it.
It was perfect.
Just got to stab yourself in a better place, bro.
Yeah,
your stab placement was not good.
Considering this whole franchise is based on samurai culture, you would think he would be better at the seppuku, but he was not. Yeah. And luckily, his hard-nosed adopted daughter had the ability to snuff him out in full, or the rebellion would have crumbled. So we are now up to 4 of 10, Nick. I like it. If we get halfway there, I'd say it's a success. So what do we have next? EU homers will be upset with the new Gorman Masker canon.
That was a free one. Because the EU homers are upset about absolutely anything.
I know. So... And it's like, I don't even think they were that upset, but I definitely got a few comments on my one video that referenced the Tarkin Massacre. It's like, oh yeah, changing canon. So I am going to give us this win, even though it was not as overblown as I expected. It didn't reach the levels of like Ki-Adi-Mundi and that dumb shit from last summer. By the way, it's 1 year later that the Acolytes started and further fissured the Star Wars fandom. I believe this was it. June 3 or 4 is when it started last year.
I still like it.
Yeah,
but whatever.
So me too. I mean, I might go. I actually, in my rewatch, I did watch the episode, the back-to-backer, where Kinnear just absolutely wastes people. And then
those
I
fights
into
were so good.
TPM.
Those fights were so good.
Yeah, I mean, just quality stuff. We love you, Acolyte. You got shafted for sure. All right, man. So we hit our 5 of 10. Are we going to get the last one to go to 60%? Lord Gilroy will take many victory laps of awesomeness,
bro,
as he should.
Another win.
As he should.
Win.
The Lord must be praised. Devin should have got on that stage, got on his knees, and opened his mouth. Okay, that's what you should have done. That would have been a moment that would have went
backstage.
Viral. Yeah,
that was backstage. That was off camera.
Yeah, that's right. Tony sent one of his handlers. Hey, go get that guy from the audience. I think I could probably get him to blow me.
It's like, I need this
Yeah!
shirt too.
Yeah.
Tell him he needs to give me his shirt as well.
Yeah. And then Props was there too, probably doing a reach
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
excellent work on our part, Nick. I'm telling you, when we were going through those predictions and we were halfway there, we were only like one in. I was getting a little worried.
Yeah.
But the fact that we finished it with a 60% success rate.
We padded the stats a little bit there at the end. We padded the stats, but we take padding stats here. That's what we did.
Who cares? This world's all about, just shaping the narrative to fit what you want the people to think. So there we go, right? We nailed it.
There we go.
60%,
right?
double bicep. Let's go, Star Wars time show.
We got it. It's a dub. It's a dub.
All right. Again, if you're new here, we're doing a show. We try to entertain. We do act kind of like jerk off sometimes. So hopefully you like this brand of entertainment.
We have fun with it, unlike other Star Wars hosts where like they just fucking shit on themselves and shit on everything. We enjoy the franchise.
Yeah, I like praising it. I like making fun of it. I like honoring it. I like shitting on it. It's all in good fun. I will never hate anything Star Wars, and that is for sure. Like I've said a million times, it could be stick figures telling a Star Wars story. It could be two little turds telling a Star Wars story. As long as that story is good, I'll be happy. So thank you, our Lord. You really knocked it out of the park. We wish you the best. And I know you said you're never coming back, and I believe you. So good luck with
He's
the rest
never
of
coming back
with your projects. He actually
never coming back.
Didn't we read he's got kind of a cool project in his head that he would like to do? I know we just read it somewhere, and it was actually something even you were like, oh yeah, I would probably be into that. Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember it now. I mean, look, he has a style and he has a genre that he really excels at. He is really good at spycraft and telling stories around spycraft and everything like that. So I'm interested to see what he puts out next.
Yeah, listen,
so we'll see.
I know
we've
had the Lord Gilroy joke running for years now. It was even before Andor season 1. It was like around his Rogue One press junkets and stuff. And, it might have started us kind of poking back at his narcissism, but it's fully earned at this point in time. This guy is a brilliant creator. And I love that he had no real passion for Star Wars and came in and just absolutely nailed his job. All right.
Yeah, he did well. Cole Bennett. Thank you for the subscription.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Devin, because he's best friends with Tony now. He recently said, "Never say never, but I want to direct some things," which sounds a bit more open to it. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're given $650 million to tell your story, I think you'd probably willing to come back and play in that sandbox every once in a while.
Yeah, I feel like at a certain point they're like, "Look, bro, if we give you the cash, you're gonna come back." And he's probably like, "Yeah,
listen, I know Nick, and he's right. Everything on the streaming side, he's right. The streaming business is broken, especially at Disney. Netflix is the only one that's managed to figure out how to actually make money. But if you think about what Disney is doing for their art, these artists, and just kind of giving them blank checks, yeah, let's do it. Like, if they lose money, oh well. As long as they don't go out of business, we'll still be getting what we want. So I'm glad they're supporting artists. But yeah, in the name of capitalism, you probably should start figuring out a way to turn a profit.
You should figure out budgeting, because also Disney just fired a lot of people on the marketing and production side of TV and movies. So that's not good. That's not good.
Is that tariff related or just business related?
I think it's business related. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I mean,
because I try not to pay attention to real life for long, but I know he did put tariffs on Hollywood.
Yeah, well, it was like as far as I understand, it's like foreign produced films.
Correct. Yeah, if you
that are like brought into the U.S.
Or if you wanted to like shoot your movie in England, you would get tariff to show it back over here. So who the fuck knows? I'm not gonna go into it. It's too depressing. Plus, there's people that love this stuff, so don't upset
lose
them.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people. Yeah, a lot of people lost jobs in Disney on the TV and film side recently.
That
Marketing,
is unfortunate.
Production, lot of stuff.
That's kind of sadly, that's the mantra in America right now. A lot of people losing jobs, mostly for no reason. So just think about that sometimes. All right, so to close out the episode, if you're new here, we're not done yet. We got through our Star Wars topic, but we are the first Star Wars podcast out there, live stream, whatever the hell you want to call us, that has dedicated a segment to our fan every show we do. It is the Star Wars Time Show fan segment. We do it every week. There's multiple ways to get involved. The first way, what we're going to get into right now, is the question of the week. So we post that on our socials. It's usually going to be related to whatever our main topic is of the week. So this week, we asked the fans something.
We asked the fans, is Andor Season 2 S tier Star Wars? There we go.
There you go.
I was ready.
I was ready. A little slow here. I'm I've been out for 2 weeks. We had a major tech flub earlier in the show. If you missed that, make sure to rewind that because that was pretty neat. So yeah, I'm a little scatterbrained right now, but we're getting there. Nick read the question: is Andor Season 2 S tier Star Wars? So go ahead and kick into that, Nick, and I'll get the proper screens up.
Right. Yes, indeed. We got Michael Kramer, Mac 122198. He says, yes, it is. And we definitely need more type of Star Wars content like that. So he wants more gritty Star Wars, does Michael Kramer. Thank you, Mike. Next up, Divided Skywalker. She says, hands down, no questions asked, 100% S tier Star Wars, 5 stars. I'd say S plus if I could. Well, guess what?
You know what?
You can.
You can on this show, Divided. You can do whatever the hell you want.
You can. We give pluses on this show.
You
All right.
Plus if you want.
Yeah. However many pluses you want to add. League of Extraordinary Sixthers. She says Andor should be the standard of storytelling from now on. And then a Star Wars Toy Story chimes in and says this. So they agree. Dig it. Dank Ferrick Toys
says,
to
see Dank back posting again. I don't know if you saw any of their shots in there. But Dank's been sharing some good old toy photography again.
Oh, yeah. Dank's putting out some good stuff. Dank says, without a doubt, fire. So, yes, he's a big fan. Nova Toymation just says, they're back. We're back, baby.
That's
2
right.
weeks off. We're back.
We're not dead. You can't kill us. We're like roaches.
Bat 2797 Studios on the IG. Bat says, yeah, with the Jennifer Aniston gif. Yeah.
Love her.
A Star Wars Toy Story now comes in with their own chime and says a category above S tier would be appropriate here. God tier? Mortis tier?
You want a God tier Star Wars story? You got a God tier. It's God tier.
We'll make a Mortis God tier from now on, and we'll just put Tony in. He just lives in that tier. Tony up there with the
Don't worry.
Mortis
Spoiler
gods.
warning. Mando Mugshot's gonna go ahead and pour some cold water on this party.
There we go. Is it Mando Mugshot? I love it when they come in and they hey, look, everybody has a
right. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying that this is we got the positives. Now we're gonna get a more down to earth reaction.
Yeah. Mando Mugshot says Andor showed us that Gilroy had little input in Rogue One, and Gareth Edwards deserves more praise of this masterpiece. And here's what I'll say.
It's a good statement.
I do think that
it's a good statement.
That Gareth Edwards does not get enough credit for Rogue One.
100%.
Gareth Edwards did 95% of that movie, and he is almost never talked about. That movie is fantastic from stem to stern, and the only person that ever gets any credit for it is Tony.
Yeah.
And
Nick, I don't even think they mention Gareth anymore. You're like, he's not even brought up in the conversation.
It is insane. Gareth Edwards is an incredibly talented
I love him.
Director and storyteller.
But I don't think the money people out there, I don't think they like him though, because even he did The Creator, which was awesome, and nothing. Like he
fantastic.
He just goes away for a couple years.
Dude. I mean, he's the director of Jurassic World Rebirth, which is why I'm fucking
okay. I'm an idiot. So he's been working on that.
Yeah, dude. Like,
all right.
I'm pumped that he is doing that.
Okay.
Obviously, if you follow the show, you know I'm a huge Jurassic fan.
Are you doing a rewatch on that, from OG through, or just the new ones? Or you're not really a rewatcher, are you?
I'm probably not going to do it right before the movie drops, but I did watch all the movies earlier this year, scattered though. I watched one every now
I feel
and
like you could
then.
probably,
I watched them all.
You always got to watch 1. 2 is a little weird. 3 is
if you're going to do
weird.
It. If you're going to do it for Rebirth, I would probably say just do OG Jurassic Park, then Jurassic World, and then like I mean, if you want to watch
I know you
Dominion,
kind of
you
have
could.
to. You kind of have to.
Dominion is the one that like,
It's terrible, or
you
that's
know,
the
like
last one.
It's the last one. It gets better once you're in the park
Right.
and stuff like that. But it's like you have to just see that like dinosaurs are out in the
Okay.
wild.
All
Like
right.
they have made their way
We'll
out to
see. It's coming up July 1st. I also got to get my ass going on 28 Days Later because I'm excited for that. And I literally do not remember the first two movies. So I need to watch those before June 20th. All right. Back to question of the week. We got
question of the week. Yes.
one
All
more
right.
Mando coming in with his other point.
I was say he's coming in. He said, absolutely not. It's just okay. Better than season 1 and most recent shows, with the exception of Skeleton Crew. But that really wasn't hard. Yes, the acting and writing were exceptional, but it just wasn't fun. A bit like doing your weekly shop. The content of your basket may look and taste great, but it's a bummer of a chore to do, and all the processed crap will leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Wow.
B tier at best. Hey, everybody has their
That's
own
right.
opinions. I understand. It is. I will say this: that if you're looking to get pepped up and like you're like, I want something to make me feel good. Andor season 2 may not be the best option for you. You know, like it is a show
to watch when
general,
you think when your democracy is about to be stolen. That's
like,
when you watch Andor season 2.
Yeah, like it's a hard.
Or if
watch.
you're already
like
being persecuted by a dictator around the world, it's
yeah,
a good show
like,
for you.
You know, it's a tough watch, and if you are somebody, and I'm a type of person like this. I don't watch a lot of drama shows. Most of what I watch are like comedies and like fun, lighthearted shit.
I like the
because
sad
life
shit.
sucks, bro.
It does.
Life sucks.
Sure
like,
does.
Like that life is good sometimes, but life sucks too. And like recently it's been a sucky run. And guess what? I just want to laugh. I want to laugh sometimes, man. That's all I want to do is
watch Tim Robinson in Friendship. Have you ever watched any of his other shows? Like he really does have a very particular brand of humor, and it's kind of up my alley.
We've tried to watch some Tim Robinson stuff, and it just like didn't land well.
That's kind of what I'm picking up. Like you either have to be into that. It's almost like full on dark comedy, or just that type of humor. But yeah, he's something else. He's kind of odd,
like
but I like it.
We just we watch a lot of comedy. We also watch a lot of old like early 2000s horror. Like we just watched I Know What You Did Last Summer this weekend.
That's worth it because that's getting a reboot soon. I think maybe even this summer, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The trailer's out now, but that movie's fucking hilarious to watch now. Like, go back and watch the original Scream, the original I Know What You like. Those things are funny. Like, they're just funny to watch.
Like funny bad or funny like, oh, I remember what it was like back then when I was, I would have been.
No, like Scream is legitimately like this far away from being a comedy movie.
Oh yeah, the original ones, but like if you watch some of the newer ones, it tilts a little bit more into like the
original Screams and stuff. Like the first Scary Movie, if you watch that, it's all of the lines, the exact same lines from Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. They just say them differently, so it's funny. Like it's the same plot and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that's I lean towards funny a little bit. So I get where Mando mugshots is coming from.
Like I was I think telling everyone before we left here, I went through the whole Final Destination franchise to get ready for the new one.
Oh yeah.
And actually I hate to admit this, but I took my 9-year-old to it, and we loved it. Final Destination Bloodlines is the best Final Destination movie in the franchise. It is. Nick, it actually has a somewhat interesting story that kind of ties the franchise together. It's not just an exercise in how fucked up can you kill a human. So I huge fan of Final Destination Bloodlines, and my 9-year-old loved it. Yeah. I don't know what that says about me, but she is not scared of this type of stuff. It doesn't mess her up. She's not out there stabbing squirrels and shit. So I'm raising her like my parents raised me, and fuck it. It's just TV and movies. You know what I mean? All right. So, to wrap up the show here, we got one more little tribute to our fans, and this is our Top 5 Star Wars Fan Artist Features of the Week. We do it every week. This is all done through Instagram. We use a hashtag Star Wars Time Show, but more importantly, if you want to be included in the category to be chosen for the top 5 to be discussed and honored on this show, you have to use @StarWarsTime.show on Instagram. All right.
Yeah.
And then Nick goes through.
So,
He picks his 5 favorite, and then we sit here and wax poetic about them. So here we go. Nick, let them rip.
Right. To kick off the top 5 this week, we have Anuel _ photo toy on Instagram. And Anuel _ photo toy, first time feature here on the top 5. And they gave us an awesome shot here of some of the Mandos from the Mandoverse. We see Bo-Katan, we see Axe Woves, probably, and then you see which Vizsla is this? We see Heavy Mando there in the back. I can't remember the Vizsla, which
Paz.
Vizsla he is. Paz Vizsla, that's
Yeah.
right. Paz Vizsla, aka Jon Favreau. Awesome setup here. I like the use of the depth of field where Paz is a little bit more blurry in the background. You got Bo and Axe up at the front. Good posing. All around good shot.
Yeah, no, it's good.
The
I mean,
Mandos.
you get that. You get some Death Watchers together, reformed Death Watchers. You remember Paz is in the Vizsla lineage, so Pre was out there one day with the Darksaber. Yeah, it's killer shot here from Anuel _ photo toy Instagram. All right, who's next?
All right.
Next up, Cassian's got him locked and loaded.
He's locked in. So Betty Ione _ SW on Instagram. Betty always gives us some good shots here on the IG. But she's lined up the range trooper. She's got him in sights, and she's ready to blow him through the door. A perfect little tribute shot here to the Andor season 2. I mean, the overlay of the reticule is just awesome. Perfect. Like holding the rocket launcher. Just fantastic.
That's still one of my favorite moments from Andor season 2. And it's right there in the first episode where he's trying to break out. Everything goes to shit. You got this one guy like, I got it. I got him. Blah, blah, and he literally shoots him with like turbo lasers.
Blast
I'll tell you what,
the door right behind him.
Based on that scene right there, I almost considered getting the this range trooper hot toy because I have almost $300 in build up credit over there because of all the dumb shit I buy. But I passed. Nice. You'll be happy to know. I don't know if Bat still listen. I also wanted to get the concept art Darth Maul because I could have just got it straight up. I had enough rewards to cover it. But I was like, you know what? I'll go on vacation, and if I still want it, then I'll get it. Lo and behold, when I was on vacation, they revealed that they're re-releasing the Predator hot toy that I never had a chance to get, the Predator 2.0. And since I added the Arnold, the T-800, I was like, you know what? I'm going to use my rewards on the Predator. So ordered him today, and I'm excited for that. But this is a great shot of our range trooper buddy right before he gets absolutely nuked through a hangar door from Betty Ione _ SW Instagram.
That's right.
Look at
Next up.
Look at these jokers.
It's the OG crew, right? This is from Clone Trooper mugshots. These are the boys. The boys are back in town. We got R2, we got C-3PO, and we got them on the 10T4, that clean white walls. I mean, it's just such an iconic location for these two, right? It's like, you know, the first time you see them, first time you're introduced to Star Wars, you see these droid fellows just scurrying their way through these white halls of the Tantive 4. Nostalgia runs rampant here at the Star Wars Time Show sometimes, and this shot here really brought me back to the OG Star Wars. Feels good.
It is, man. I mean, this is like
an R2D2 there.
This is like, I mean, doesn't C-3PO have the first line of the trilogy unless R2 beeps in? So, this pretty much kicks it off. You know, I can see Goldenrod doing his little shuffle down, like, oh, what's happening here? Oh shit, you know, let's get the hell out of the way. And R2 always had a plan. He knew exactly what he needed to do if shit hit the fan, and that was go find Princess Leia, get something jabbed into his face, and then eject himself out in an escape pod. So, like this scene recreation here from Clone Trooper _ mugshots on the gram.
Good stuff. Next up, we have Black Series Natural Light. Black Series Natural Light on Instagram. Make sure to follow all of these creators on Instagram if you feel like they're shots. But Black Series Natural Light's giving us an awesome shot of Luminara Unduli, a prequel era Jedi, if you are not aware. All natural light exterior shot. Excellent posing. I love the superimposition of like Saturn or one of the planet in the sky in the background. Beautiful stuff there. Really captures Luminara very well. Highly detailed shot. good work on the lightsaber effects all around. Really makes Luminara pop here on this shot.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, natural light is actually very, very difficult when you're outside. Sometimes you have to go out at the right time of day. There's only really 2 great times a day, in the morning and in the evening. It's usually called golden hour. That's when you're going to get the best light to shoot out there. And that's how I started the hobby, and I wish I still did it. And then I got too looped up. Oh, I need this light, this smoke, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm not Sir Dork. Fuck it. Go back to basics, like VLK series, natural light on Instagram. Good stuff there, shooting outdoors. All right, we got one more here, right? Yeah.
One more. Last one. Great Spartan
Leia, you
figures.
son of a bitch. Can anyone hear her back here? She wants me to play Fett. She has a Barbie hula hoop, and she drops it up and down the steps, so I hear it and know that she's ready to ride. Do you hear it? Can you hear? What?
I hear a little bit.
What are you doing? Hey. Yeah. It is funny. Like, if I don't play with her, Nick, she'll put it on a step and then pull it down. Put it on a step and pull it down. Put it on a step and pull it down.
She's ready. She's ready.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
We'll
Let's talk about the great Spartan figures here.
That's right. Great Spartan figures here, giving us a shot of Snips and the Clone Bros. But hey, it's the bad time. It's when the clones were flipped. Order 66 goes down, and Snips has to try to fight her way out of this predicament that she's in. Blocking all the blaster bullets. You can see all your favorite clones there. You got Rex, you got Jesse, and some other phase 2 clones in there taking shots at Ahsoka as she is trying to save her friends. I mean, this is her crew. This is the 332nd. She's trying to get them all to snap out of whatever's going on. So awesome shot here. Love the posing, love the post effects here, giving those lightsaber and blaster bolts a cool look. And then Snips doing her thing.
Oh, here we go. We get a positive comment from sending you hate from Spain. Well, we're sending you love from the internet.
There we go.
We are sending you love. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you.
Thanks for the hate.
We love you, bro.
We love it.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about my cat. I don't talk about my kid. I don't play fetch with my kid. At least,
no, yeah,
it's more catching lacrosse balls these days. She just started travel lacrosse this week, so
nice.
Dad ain't gonna have any weekends in June. We're gonna be traveling all around the Midwest. So hey,
fun stuff. But hey, that was it. That great Spartan figures. Awesome shot of Snips and her clone bros while they try to kill her. That's the end of the top 5. That's the end of our show for this week. So Matt, go ahead and close this out.
You know what? Be Mad deserves to be addressed right here. You know, he's always tipping hardcore every week. We try to get to everyone, but he gets a bonus here. Any chance we get final thoughts on Star Wars right now? We in a good place? No, I don't think it's still in a good place. I mean, we're going to have a major gap in content, which maybe some people would argue is the best place for Star Wars right now. But in terms of someone like me that kind of thrives on talking about and making content and stuff like that, I'm dreading the next few weeks. It's going to be a lot of thinking, a lot of spitballing, pitching with Nick, and figuring out what to talk about. The fandom is still completely fractured and broken. That's never going to be fixed. And I still really don't think they have a grasp on the film side yet. It seems like Mando and Grogu definitely a done deal. The Starfighter is looking much closer along than the 3 that were officially announced many years ago. But until we start getting footage like we have for Mando and Grogu, like the film side to me is still a huge question mark. Be Mad. So while I feel Andor left us in a great place, I think we're about to hit a very long down period in terms of new content. So I can't say 100% that we are going to stay in that great place for too long.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, obviously there's a content break coming up. I hope that they're taking the time to really set out what the roadmap looks like going forward. Because here's the thing. I mean, we just got the best season of Star Wars TV that we've ever gotten. So very positive way to go on to a break is arguably an Emmy-winning show closing out. I do think that the creators and the people who are running the creative side of Star Wars, they need a pause to really assess the direction that they want to take and really figure out what they want to do moving forward. Because right now it's like we've gotten good TV shows, we've gotten good quality TV shows for a while. A lot of, you could say that they were very disconnected. Like you had the Mandalorian stuff that was happening, but then outside of that, like Mandalorian is not connected to Andor, which is not connected to the Acolyte, which is not connected to Skeleton Crew. It's very piecemeal, and that's fine. But I think that one thing that people are used to when watching Star Wars is having cohesive narratives where they watch something and they're like, oh, well, this is connected to this way. These are all movies in one series. That's why they have the same numbers. And I think that it's been really hard for people to follow Star Wars since the TV side has taken over. Nobody knows what's connected where. Nobody knows when anything is happening in relation to when the movies are. So I think that a content break, if used properly to really figure out a proper direction, could help the franchise overall. Will it be fun for us who like to watch Star Wars? No, because we're not going to have a lot of new stuff to watch. But I hope that time is used wisely to build a roadmap that makes sense, both in terms of narrative presentation and in terms of how can you make this sustainably and how can you do it in a way that's not going to cause a bunch of people to get fired because you don't know how to do your P&L and all that other stuff. So is it in a good spot? I think it's in an okay spot, but it could definitely use some work. So
it's definitely not where it was like back in 2019 when the Mando first kicked off, and it was like, oh, see, we're getting a season a year, and this show, that show, this show, that show, this movie, that. So yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of wore out at this point in time, so it's a good moment to say goodbye. The trolls are coming in, which always means it's time to go. We've been online for too long. Look at this guy's in here talking about the Holocaust. We'll go ahead and report him too. I love reporting people. All right. It's been real, everyone.
Ban that guy.
Welcome back. It was good to be back. I needed today, even though we had a bit of a blip there to start things with the tech. I don't even know how I'm going to handle that on the audio side. I'll probably just cunt. Oof. If someone from Howard's listening, they would have just clipped that to play for people trying to say words, and they end up saying dirty words.
That'll get us banned.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's listening, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I don't know. It was nice. It was good. I always love coming here Wednesday nights and talking with Nick, and really the chat was fantastic this week. It looks like we added a few new subs. I don't know if KG's already sub. Hopefully they'll consider it, but it was fun. It's fun. Great work, team. Great work, team. Sorry again about those tech issues. Hopefully if you were here, you don't have to rewatch it, so you've already lived that nightmare. But I'll have to put some stuff up in the description, be like, hey, this video gets a little wonky there in the middle, but it recovers. As we always do at the Star Wars Time Show, because we know there's always time for Star Wars time. All right, yeah, League. We got some of the our members in here hitting their 12, 13 month pop. What is all this? Just became a sponsor stuff. I love it. Our bot is going nuts right now. He's just sending out like, BMAD's a sponsor. BMAD's been a member for 13 months. I don't know how this is happening, but that's why we love you all. All right, we'll be back next week. You don't know what we'll be talking about because there's no more Andor. I think we beat that thing like a dead horse, so we're not going back to that well anytime soon. So stick with us. Check out those socials. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Discord. We got an open link if you want to join in the description of this video, and Instagram, YouTube, obviously. So keep your eye out. We typically on Monday will tip our hand at what we're going to be discussing on Wednesday. So like I said, follow us on those socials and you will be in the know because there's always time for Star Wars Time. And if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you, and you always.